Daredevil Born Again season finale has to be one of the worst finales I've ever seen in a while. And it's crazy to say this, but Born Again season 1 had a better season finale than whatever the crap this was. The positives to this episode is we finally had Daredevil and Cuck the Fisk figure out their differences and let each other go over these silly games. The other great part was Fisk was ripping those dumbasses apart after he opened the door, and that shit was awesome. They kicked all their asses and I was here for it. That shit was just great! And Daredevil kicking some ass too, that was cool too, but Fisk absolutely stole the show on this one. And also Bullseye doing his thing was great as well after almost getting framed, even though he still took a shot. The acting and cinematography, it's pretty decent overall, but that's kind of where the positives end. The negatives was half the episode being a court case for Karen, and nobody cares about her anyway. Just lock her up and throw away the damn key. It was a great setup for a second last episode of the season, not a great season finale. And this is where season 1's finale was much better, especially with Fisk crushing someone's damn head, and the whole section with the Punisher and Daredevil. That scene was great. It actually blew me away for what it was. The whole rest of the first season was absolute crap, but I think around the last 2 episodes I was like, where was this the entire season? And then this season comes along and it's absolute garbage! The whole I am Daredevil was so damn silly, and just the way they did it was dumb. This wasn't a cool moment like in Iron Man.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
This was honestly laughable at best, and this being the only way to save Karen, and I thought, okay then? And it seemed rather forced than naturally playing out. And after Bullseye shoots that cracker accent boy, all these people lose it and they start dressing like Daredevil all of a sudden in red and shit, and they had their masks ready to go just for this moment. And these are just more things to the show that just is a bunch of crap. The Fisk Cuck Force finally grows some balls to have some morals, and this dude knocks out the main cuck leader. Wait, what is going on exactly? Even Mocha White Tiger comes in and she's like, you killed my white tiger, dude! And this little girl grew a goddamn cock and balls. And this is why this show is trash. Little girl stands up to guys with fucking machine guns. What is this garbage? The fight with Daredevil in the courthouse was a bit silly and just corny overall, especially the part with Jessica Jones helping out, and then you got Mocha White Tiger ass girl flying on the damn wall and beating these dudes. What the fuck is going on in here? And Karen then beats up an officer that has body armor and a helmet on, and she does it with absolute ease. And this is what I've been saying. This is the MCU back in action!
I saved me. Becomes
Woman Muse here, and that shit was so goddamn forced in this show with all her damn trauma, and personally her character wouldn't change all that fast, but okay. And they got to rush it in here and make her even more unlikable than ever, especially with the court case and her just lying and being one of the most useless characters in this damn show. And then we got homie here that just touches her and she punches him in the damn throat.
Don't you ever touch me.
Yeah, I don't know if he deserved that, honey. It's not like he grabbed her ass or anything.
Get slapped!
And she just got unhinged for the sake of it, because the writers thought so! Bringing Luke Cage at the end was also some setup for season 3, and that's all it is. And he's really one of the least interesting characters ever. And it's not just because he's a goddamn chocolate! The Luke Cage show was just absolute trash. I've never liked it. Even the Jessica Jones show, I think the first season was half decent. After that, it took a steep decline for sure. And Jessica Jones was just absolutely shoved in this show so they can do some more filler fluff in season 3 or whatever the crap they're trying to lead this trash into a garbage bin! Having Pillsbury Doughboy here, Fisk, let go so easily was just incredibly dumb. And he just gets away and he sits on a damn beach here. That's not justice or anything. This was just so dumb. And you had all those people rushing into the courthouse, and you'd think at least one of them would have brought a gun and shot Fisk in the head. That would make the most sense. But no, it did not happen. He gets away with, you know, a few scratches and maybe a little bruise. But I did enjoy him beating the crap out of all them soy devils. And then Double D here turns himself in, and this is exactly why I don't trust lawyers, because they believe in a corrupt ass system, and somehow this is justice. Homie should have just dipped out and left with Karen and said goodbye forever. What was so goddamn hard about that? And whoever thought those lights were cool and a great idea in this scene needs a goddamn smack, cause that shit was distracting. BB, the shit reporter, moves on and she becomes a legit reporter now, and they showed how she was the one making fun of Fisk this entire time. And I thought that was pretty silly, especially since she never wanted to sleep with Chunks anyway, but she uses his death to show she actually cares. But let's be real about this, she didn't give a shit! And she should have just got killed in here, but you know, they got feminized the show just a little more. The showrunners are absolute garbage, and Kevin Feige needs to pack it up because he's been leading Marvel down a steep decline here. The biggest problem about Daredevil Born Again is how absolutely watered down and feminized the whole show is.
I saved me.
Instead of drinking the soy milk, they should eat some goddamn steak, because there's a whole lot of estrogen floating all over the show.
Lay off the soy milk.
Daredevil is for the dudes, not the chicks, and I think they forgot who this show was truly for. But I'm not surprised, because Hollywood is filled with freaks! The adding of more and more characters made this ending even worse. They had to tie up everybody's little story and shit, throwing Bullseye in here, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and shit in here, and no one really cares. Is this about Daredevil, or is this about the other characters in this show? Because as far as I'm concerned, this show has become more about the other characters than Daredevil himself. And you just realize it's not really a good ending. And it just makes you wonder where things will go, because Matt here loves obeying a corrupt system, and he should know this. But he decides, you know what, I'm gonna turn myself in, because he's a goddamn idiot! Or you know what, maybe it's just the writers and producers and shit that are absolute trash. This was the worst season. I would honestly say season 1 had a way better ending. I'll take that over this. Overall, this was a very unmemorable show. This was about a 4 in my books.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Why are you gay?
Highly disappointing throughout this entire season, and I'm guessing season 3 is probably gonna be just as rough as season 2. And I can't wait for this shit to go bye-bye, turn it off!
So long, gay boys!